Hey, welcome to the Jennifer O'Brien Show. I'm your host, Jennifer O'Brien. Well, look at that. How amazing that is that I'm the host of the show with my name in it. Like, what are the odds of that happening? you know? So I'm just glad that I'm able to host a show with my name as the title. Like, blows my mind every time I come on here and say it. So anyway, it's great to be here. I have 6, not just 1, not 2, 3, 4, 5, but 6 very special guests that are going to be joining us today on the Jennifer O'Brien Show. I don't know if you don't know, but I'm assuming you know that the #1 quarantine web series, The Real Housewives of the Quarantine, I don't know if you saw it during the beginning of the global, I like to call it, it's short for a global pandemic, thank you. But it's a web series that I created. So I like to say it's America's #1 quarantine web series because maybe there were a lot of web series that got created, but mine's #1. And how do I know that? It's because I say it. And that's what I've learned in marketing. You can just say pretty much anything. Like, who's going to be like, actually, it's not, which I'm sure there are people out there that are probably thinking that. Like, I don't even know what you're talking about. But anyway, I created a web series at the beginning of quarantine last year. It's, I think I started the first episode was like towards the end of March. And I created a Housewives like reality show that I created here out of my home in Georgia. And it was just me to be, just to let you know. My husband was in Las Vegas working with his company. And they were out there helping. They built a new stadium for the Las Vegas Raiders now. And so his company that he works for was contracted to help build like some of the railing system. So he was out there for that. Supposed to be 3 weeks. 3 weeks turned into 6 months. But we were not complaining because he was making a lot more money out there. And the whole world was shut down. So we're like, make some money because, we actually got caught up. That's what we say. We're like, let's get caught up on some stuff. You know what I mean? Let's stop having the woman come by the house and knock on the door and say, you have a late payment on your mortgage. I'm like, wait, what? So we got caught up on some stuff. You know what I mean? Like we got ahead by the grace of God. So we were not complaining. A lot of things were happening in the world. We were like, God is helping us get caught up. This is our time. You know what I mean? So we were excited. We had distance, but that's what cell phones and video chat and all that. You figure out your way to stay as connected as possible. And then the airlines were like shutting down. So there were times he was going to come home and visit, but then there was like, hey, if you leave the state, you got to quarantine for 2 weeks. So it just turned into this whole thing. So anyway, I'm at home alone with a teenager. Basically, I was alone. You know what I mean? Because she wanted nothing to do with me. So that's where I was like, you know what? I'm not out doing any live gigs. We're all shut down. That's where the Real Housewives of the Quarantine just came out of me. I will say this. I was in trouble a lot as a child and a teenager. Very troubled teen, okay? We could unpack that on a whole nother episode. So I spent a lot of time on restriction. Anything from sneaking out to bad grades to all sorts of things, okay? So I spent a lot of time with me, myself, and I, which just fed into this whole comedian character thing. From a young age, I remember my grandmother had wigs, and I would get those wigs and create all sorts of characters. So what happened is the quarantine felt a lot like restriction for me. And I did what I would do on restriction is entertain myself. And now I happen to have an entire office with all sorts of props and wigs and you name it. that I've built over the years, going to thrift stores and just people giving me stuff or me just buying random things that I'm like, this would be funny for a character. So here I am stuck in my house. That's where the Real Housewives of the Quarantine show up. It started out with 4 characters, okay? Characters were Jazz Freebird. She's my fave. Visually, she's like a force to be reckoned with. Gorgeous. So ugly, she's gorgeous, okay? And then came Kathy. Kathy was probably most like me, very kind of normal, kind of suburban mom. I mean, as suburban as I can be, but she was kind of the most normal of the housewives. Then came, at the beginning, Sabrina. I ended up making her Australian because I was really working on that Australian accent. So she became Australian. And then there was, Roxy. Roxy's my spirit animal, although I think Jazz is too. But Roxy, she's a New Yorker who's recently retired down in Boca Raton, Florida. But so these 4 ladies just are talking about how they're getting through the pandemic. And as you know, if you ever watched any shows growing up, you always know you start adding characters. And as time went on, I added a 5th character, which was Joan Peterson. She's a life coach, jack of all trades, master of none. A lot of fun. I love Joan. So Joan shows up on the scene in like the 4th or 5th episode. And then I went out to Vegas to visit my husband. And we picked up another housewife out in Vegas. And that was Becky. And Becky's she's the millennial housewife. And she's blonde, you know. And so anyway, it ended with 6 different characters. I did 2 seasons. You know, world started opening back up. It became harder and harder to produce this web series out of my house because things were happening again. So it was like, I don't really have the time. And I've kind of just put them aside and there's been a lot of good stuff happening. So I haven't really had a chance to pick them back up. But today, we have an exclusive interview with all 6 of the housewives of the quarantine. Real Housewives of the Quarantine. So they're going to join me today and just get us caught up. What have they been up to? And listen, I will say, after this, listening or watching, whatever you do, you can always go back on my YouTube channel or on my Facebook page and catch an episode and just see what it was like. It was a lot of fun. It kept me just kind of how, like, when I survived being grounded as a teenager for constantly. It entertained me, kept me in a good headspace. Husband wasn't here, so it just kept me busy, kept me busy. I need to be busy. If I'm not busy doing good stuff, listen, you know what I mean? Like, it spirals very quickly. So it was a bit of a saving grace. Had a lot of fun, poured my heart, soul, everything into it. I was a little discouraged that towards the end of it, that I wasn't getting as much traction. And it was kind of like, okay, it's time to put the ladies away. People are moving on. You know, we're moving on to bigger and better things, you know. So anyway, not really. World's just falling apart, isn't it? And so anyway, we're just going to check in with the ladies today and see what they've been up to. So I'm going to ask them each just a few questions, and then you'll get to know who they are. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring on the first guest. This is Roxy. Roxy lives with her husband, Jerry, down in Boca Raton, Florida. And they've been just riding out this pandemic down there. Roxy, thanks so much for joining us today. It's been a minute. We're so glad to have you on the Jennifer O'Brien Show. And I would just like to know, what have you been up to? It's been about a year since we checked in with the housewives. And we're just curious, how's it going down there in Florida with you and Jerry? Well, I mean, what do I say? It's going terrible, I mean, I thought things were getting back to normal. Well, all of a sudden we got Delta. So anyway, it just seems like it's never ending, this global. And I'm just getting tired. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And so anyway, I don't trip with this virus. I'm not messing with it. I got the jab. I got the double jab. In fact, I didn't, I get all the jabs. I got the Moderna, I got the Pfizer, I got the Johnson. I wasn't taking a chance. You know what I mean? I'm not even tripping with this virus. So, anyway, boosters, I'll be getting who's got a booster, I'll take it. And whatever you want to jab me with, do it already. So I don't trip. Every now and then I just run down to my local Publix here down in Boca Raton, and I just say, they don't know that I have already been vaxxed multiple times, and I just get another vax because I figure, why not? So, my spike proteins is through the roofs, but, at the end of the day, I feel better, and I'm not taking a chance. So, yeah. Besides just, vaccinating myself constantly, not much is going on. Wow, that's a lot of vaccines. Wow, I guess you could never be too safe there. So, well, that's great. What are your plans for the future? Any plans? I know you love going on cruise ships. Anything like that happening? Oh no, I'm not doing the cruises. That's a Peachtree dish on the sea. No, thank you. So, no, until we can get this under control, I'm not going to be doing my cruises. And, I'm a little depressed about the whole thing because, I love my cruises. I love to get on there. Just, you get out on that cruise ship, you take a big, deep breath, and you can just smell the shrimp. You know what I mean? In the sea. And then also the coconut shrimp that they usually got on the buffet. And I miss that. I do. But until we get this all under control, we're not doing the cruise ships. No, we're doing little things here and there, but we're still wait season seasies. You know what I mean? And in the meantime, we joined, there's a few of us here in our community, and we get together every Tuesday. And it's just me and the ladies. And I give all these ladies advice because you would be surprised at how many people don't know much. And I just enlighten them with my wisdom and just tell the ladies things like, maybe you should try to, spend a little more money on your perfume because it stinks and it smells cheap. Well, thanks so much for joining us today, Roxy. We'll be in touch with you soon. Thank you so much. Thank you. God bless you and yours. Well, that was nice. That was nice hearing from Roxy. Wow, she's got a lot going on there. She is quite the chatty Kathy, I would like to say, which is interesting because that brings up our next guest, Kathy. Kathy, how are you doing? How's everything going with you and your family? Physically, we're doing great, and just keeping everybody cleansed and detoxed and all sorts, just, staying up on what's going on in the world. Started therapy last year, and I have a joke. I say if 2020 didn't put you in therapy, 2021 will. But 2020 actually really did put me in therapy. And actually, the more therapy I get, the more I realize I need more therapy. So it's just been a lot of therapy for me. It's a never-ending story of discovering all the trauma. Because not only did I have trauma with the global pandemic, we decided just to go ahead and explore childhood trauma, which there's so much of that. So that's a full-time job. Sounds like you got a lot going on there, Kathy. Anything on the horizon for you, Kathy? Yeah, just more therapy. Just more therapy. Yeah, that's what I got to look forward to. And we'll see what 2022 brings. Probably more therapy, though. But it's been great to be on this chat with you today. Thanks for having me. And hey, if you need a good therapist, I know several. Well, thanks so much, Kathy. We appreciate you coming on here today, which leads us to our next housewife of the quarantine, and that's Becky. Becky, it's great having you on today. What have you been up to?
It's such an honor to be on your show. Basically, I've become completely vegan. Yeah, so I have been making lots of vegan recipes lots of beans, lots of grains, lots of veggies, and some fruit. That's why I do Becky Cook's cooking show. I have a friend named Todd, and Todd knows people that work for Food Network, and they're basically going to be shopping my cooking show to be picked up by Food Network. So I might have my own show on the Food Network. It would be a dream come true.
Where can we find these incredible recipes that you speak of?
Check out me, Becky Cooks. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share because I want to spread the vegan love.
Thanks, Becky, so much for coming on and being a guest today. And we look forward to catching up with you again soon. And hey, everybody, it's time to meet and bring on Sabrina. That's right, TikTok famous Sabrina. Sabrina, how's life treating you? How have you been? It's just nice to see everybody here today. And it's been quite a journey, honestly. As you know, I did have to go back to work once the quarantine was kind of over. And that was very disappointing to me because I felt like I just hadn't quite hit that TikTok famous status that I wanted to hit. But eventually I did hit it. I increased my followings. I went from 14 followers. Okay, I had 13 as a baker's dozen, and then I got another one. I got 14, doubled that. I had up to 20, at the height of my career, I had up to 28 followers on TikTok. And, you know, people don't realize it's a lot of pressure to keep 28 people satisfied with TikToks. And honestly, I let it get to my head a little bit. I went through a really dark period. I felt, I felt like this is what it's like to be a rock star. In fact, I started drinking a lot of those Rockstar energy drinks. They became sort of a sponsor, not official sponsor, but kind of a semi-official sponsor of mine. And then I just started popping pills, like a rock star. Well, not necessarily so much pills, but like Tums. I have a thing of Tums, right? I have to carry them with me because the rock stars, crazy, actually cause a bit of an acid reflux. So to counteract the energy drinks, I had to, take a lot of Tums. So at the height of my TikTok career, I was spiraling. Honestly, as you can see here today, I have two sleeves. You can see my arm sleeves. I'm tattooed up, literally from chest all the way down to my ankles. I've got tchotchkes and just random tattoos all over my body. So a very dark period, just lots of things. I've got, skull and crossbones here on my arm, angels, devils, they're fighting it out on my wrist, and it's all up and down. So it was a very challenging period. I wasn't quite ready for what that lifestyle of being TikTok famous really entailed. Wow, that's some dark times there. I guess I don't realize being TikTok famous is a lot of pressure. Wow, okay. Well, I'm glad that you're doing better. And I look forward to getting on there and seeing some of these world famous TikToks. Yeah, so just if you want to follow me on TikTok, you can now, but just know, basically, I'm an advocate for middle-aged women that have gotten so desperate on TikTok and they just basically sold themselves to TikTok and have realized it's not worth it. And, I'm the spokesperson now. I represent those women, and I just try to speak light into all that. So thanks so much just for having me on. Thanks so much, Sabrina, for coming on today. We've enjoyed having you. And which brings up our next guest, Joan Peterson. Joan Peterson is a life coach. Last time we checked in with Joan, she was doing Uber Eats and just, having a lot of fun during the pandemic. And we just want to see what's Joan been up to.
Well, thanks so much for having me on. What have I been up to? Well, I got a question for you. What have I not been up to? Oh, yeah. Well, listen, I stopped doing the Uber Eats for a while. Let's just say I got caught taking out too many finder's fee and I had too many complaints. For those of you that haven't been paying attention in the Real Housewives of the quarantine, I was driving Uber Eats during the pandemic. And sometimes when you're delivering the Mickey D's, you want to get your hands on some of them French fries. So I like to say that's kind of my finder's fee. Hey, I'm picking this up and bringing it to you. Let me get a little bite of that Philly cheesesteak. Anyway, too many complaints. They let me go. So I'm not doing the eats right now, but I got an application in the DoorDash. So ain't no one going to have to know. I'll just have to be a little more under the radar with my finder's fees this time. But yeah, meanwhile, I'm working down at the local Walmart. I'm greeting. Welcome to Walmart. What can Joan do for you? Oh, I'm having a blast. I'm just chatting with people all day. Best job I've ever had. I'm a life coach, so I'm handing out cards and drumming up a little business for my side hustle. And it's just been porridge. It's been porridge peach, and I love it. And unfortunately, I did get back on the smoke, so I quit at the beginning of the year. But lo and behold, it's hard to get off the smokes. It's just is. I went through the cycle again. I got on the Nicorette. To get off the Nicorette, I got on my patch. To get off the patch, I started vaping a little bit. Next thing you know, I'm back on the cigs. It's just a cycle. Listen, I like to give life coach advice, but I don't always take it. Oh, it's a kick. It's a habit. It's a tough one to give up.
Joan, you are a trip.
But, I don't understand about these mandates. It's like, mandates? Yeah, I'll take a mandate. I'll take a mandate any day of the week. As long as he's paying. Oh, man, I am a trip. No, but I don't understand these mandates. Even Walmart said, hey, you gotta get vaxxed to work here. Anyway, I know a guy doing vaccine cards out of his basement, so I got me one of them. This global pandemic, it's not for the weak at heart, okay? And I know a lot of people out there struggling. Come down to see me. I'm at the Walmart on 9 to 2, and I'll be happy to chat with you. I usually take my smoke breaks at 3 and 7, and let's just head out back. We can head out back. I usually do me a frozen burrito for a snack. Burrito, smoke, and burrito. Ain't nothing like a bean burrito and a Marlboro Red. But anyway, if you just want to drop in and just have a chat, I'll be happy just to have that chat. I have created a Cash App because a lot of people say, Joan, I want to pay you. You're giving me so much great advice. That's Joan Peterson at Cash App. Feel free to hit me up and pay me as much as you can. And you can pay me in smokes too. Marlboro Reds, that's my flavor. Or bean burritos. I mean, I don't care. Hit me up with some bean burritos from Taco Bell. But no, I'm at Walmart. It's I got some good benefits too, and that helps with all the I'm a long hauler with the COVID. I just stay in and out of symptoms all day long. So finally, someone's paying me to talk. Thank you, Walmart. Thank you. Yeah, y'all come see me at Walmart. I'm there just chat. Heck, sometimes I'm not even on shift. I just walk in with my smock. They're like, "You're not even working today." I said, "Don't even worry. I'm not on the clock, but I just want to chat." And I do. I just walk around the store shopping with people. It's fun. It's just fun. Oh.
Joan, thank you so much for coming on today. We always look forward to hearing what you have to say about everything because you always have a lot to say, don't you, Joan? Last but not least, today on the Jennifer O'Brien Show, we would like to bring up our last guest, Jazz Freebird. Jazz, how are you? How's it been going with you?
I've been doing pretty good. I mean, there's just a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world. And so I've just been paying attention and just really preparing my nest. Because, you just don't know when things are really going to go south and we're all just going to have to live off the grid. And, because my survival, I've learned a lot in survival over the years. because I was on that show Naked and Afraid. And I basically survived off the grid 21 days on my own, and because I told y'all my partner, he got sick first day. He came on set. We was outside. He seen me. He got real sick to his tum-tum. And he threw up and stuff. He didn't even start the game right yet. They ain't even started filming. He got real sick to his tummy. So I survived by myself 21 days off that grid. So I'm just I don't know what's going to happen, but I don't understand just all the stuff I've been seeing on that television.
Okay, wow.
I like to watch a lot of Tucker Carlson. He's just real dreamy and cute, and he's got lots to say. And Gary don't like it. I got me a poster of Tucker Carlson. It's in the bedroom, and I'm a big fan of Tucker Carlson, but Gary, he's jealous of Tucker. I said, Gary, ain't nothing gonna happen with me and Tucker Carlson, but I'm going to tell you something. Here's how it goes. Okay, I love Gary, so Gary's here. But after Gary, y'all know it's Edward Cullen. Okay? Y'all see him on my shirt here. Okay? Y'all know I've watched all Twilight Saga series. Okay? I love the Twilight Saga series. And so it's Gary, my husband. Then it's Edward Cullen. And I'm going to tell you who's after Edward Cullen. That's Tucker Carlson. Because he just tells it like it is. And that's what I need. That's what America needs right now. We need people like Tucker Carlson who's going to tell it like it is. So he's out there just telling it like it is. And so I watch me a lot of Tucker Carlson. And Gary don't like it, though. He don't like it. But anyway, late at night, I just curl up watching YouTube videos of Tucker Carlson after I watch my daily Twilight Saga series. Because I watch the Twilight Saga series every day. I watch it every day because I feel like in the art of survival, I have learned everything I need to know about survival from watching the Twilight Saga series. Because y'all, Edward Cullen, they's vampires, but they learned how to survive off deer meat and stuff. Okay, they was draining bloods of deers and stuff. So I'm just going to probably, if it really hits the fan, I'll probably just start draining the blood out of deers and eating that stuff. So anyway,
well, what do you see? What do you think is going to happen in the world? What do you think is going to happen with our economy, with the United States, globally? What do you see happening in the future, Jazz?
I've got some intel from some higher-ups that told me the zombie apocalypse is about to happen.
And how are you preparing for the future, Jazz?
And I love Gary. I've told y'all this. But ever since his accident, he ain't much of a runner. So I've already had to just cut my ties and know that he's probably not coming with. Okay? And I'm going to, the humane thing to do is I'm going to probably take him in his sleep one night when it starts happening. Because I don't want the zombies to take him. I'm going to take him. I'll take him out. I know how to do it. And I'm going to do it.
Wow. Okay.
And I've got survival gear I've packed and ready to go. Okay? I'm heading to higher ground because zombies don't like cold weather. Okay? I'm down here in the south, so I'm going to need to make my way up north. Okay? So the colder it gets, the less zombies going to be around. So I've got to make my way up to the North Pacific, which happens to be where Edward Cullen lives. So he's going to be my backup. Okay, because once I get in them woods with Eddie, Eddie's going to take care of them zombies for me. So I'm just going to head to the North Pacific. And, then Jacob's out there in them woods too. So between the vampires and the wolves, they're going to take care of the zombies for me. Okay? So that's how I'm going to ride it out. So, yeah, I'll probably just have to travel on foot because you can't be going by plane once the zombie apocalypse happens. You ain't flying nothing. Nothing.
Sounds like you know a lot about survival.
If you want to learn more about how to survive the coming zombie apocalypse, You can go to my survival channel, Jazz Freebird, survivingthezombieapocalypse.com. And I got all sorts of tips on there for you. Thanks for having me on today. God bless you and God bless America.
We appreciate you. Thank you, Jazz Freebird. All right. Great. Well, what a wonderful show we had today, catching up with the Real Housewives of the quarantine. Where are they now? Well, now we know. And it's been a lot of fun interviewing these ladies. And please feel free to go to Jennifer O'Brien Comedy YouTube channel to check out these incredibly funny, mesmerizing characters. And I will definitely put a link in the podcast here for those that are just listening. And yeah, I really appreciate you coming on here today. It's been quite a whirlwind. I've had to kind of take myself out of knowing every single thing going on in the world and trying to just do a lot more praying and a lot more connecting with my actual friends and having real conversations and doing more to just be in community and be connected. And I just want to encourage us that's where it's going to start. I believe that we just kind of need to roll up our sleeves and love our neighbors, love God, love others, love ourselves, take care of ourselves, good self-care, know what you can handle, know what your limits are with taking all of this on. It's a very heavy time, and we have to guard our hearts. So I'm just glad you're having a good time and joining me and listening. And please follow me on all social networks. I'm on Twitter, which I kind of just pop on there. I can't say I'm active on there. It's like Twitter's like, let me go in a dark room and talk to myself. Oh, it's my childhood all over again. Like nobody talks back to me is what I'm saying. It's very isolating. And it feels like the quarantine on Twitter for me. But I'm on TikTok, which, I debate, I'm like, okay, I'm giving the Chinese all my information. But I also want followers. So, but anyway, whatever social media network you're on, hopefully I'm on there too. Please follow me and reach out. Thanks so much for joining us today. And I look forward to seeing y'all, or I guess I don't really see you all, but I look forward to coming back next week and just checking in. Thanks so much and have a great, great rest of your day.